On this week's show, Mother Nature wreaking havoc with the Sun Belt baseball tournament at J.I. Clement Stadium. We'll give you an update and an interview with Athletics Director Tom Kleinlein. All that and more as we welcome you inside the Eagles' Nest. Welcome inside the Eagles' Nest. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, sports editor and Georgia Southern beat writer for the Statesboro Herald. And Mike, the Sun Belt, you think the Sun Belt Conference might be able to get their tournament underway? It's supposed to start on Tuesday, got delayed. They were hoping to get things going on Wednesday, which is when we are shooting this, and we just found out they will not be getting things underway on Wednesday either. The tournament will now begin on Thursday, and it is now single elimination.
You look at the brackets and the way they're set up, and depending on whether or not teams can go through totally undefeated to the championship game or not, you could play as many as 18, 19 games, and definitely not a possibility to do all that. I know that the Sun Belt really wants all these teams to play all the games they can. They earn their right to be in this tournament. There's two teams in the conference that didn't make the trip, so they really want to give a fair shake to everybody who's in the field.
Well, luckily we were able to have a talk with Athletics Director Tom Kleinlein to get his take on how things are going and what he expects for the Sun Belt baseball tournament.
Well, I think our baseball tournament's started to fit into the history of Georgia Southern here. Every big event, whether it's the Hugo Bowl, the first bowl event, has some rain associated with it when it comes to Georgia Southern athletics. Obviously, really, disappointed that we didn't get to start it the way we wanted to, but I think we're going to get the weather to move out of here, and we're going to start games tomorrow. And really thankful to our staff and everybody at the city and everybody that's come together to try to make it happen.
Any thoughts of making this into a single elimination tournament?
Well, I think right now the conference office has made the decision to postpone games today, and then that's what they'll get back to tonight and start figuring out the format from this point forward. Obviously, single elimination is something that's on the books to talk about, but until the commissioner and the coaches sit down and have a discussion about what's best, we kind of are up in the air. But obviously, single elimination is something that they're going to talk about and discuss, but we're going to try to play the tournament in its format the best we can if that's possible.
At JI and at Mill Creek?
I don't think Mill Creek's going to be an option at this point. I think, the city and everybody that was out there did the best they could to try to keep that field. But with this afternoon's rain, I don't know if we're going to be able to utilize that field much longer.
Would there be any thoughts of moving somewhere like Savannah to Armstrong or somewhere like that?
No, I think right now we've explored all those options, and those were potential options for today's games. But Savannah got as much rain as we did today, and right now I think what we got to look at is what the best format is to be played on one field and make it equitable for everybody playing in the tournament.
The latest this can finish?
I think we've got a clearance through Sunday night to be able to finish it. I know the selection show is on Monday, but I know there's been some tournaments in the past that have gone well into the wee hours of Sunday night, early morning Monday, but hopefully we're not there. Hopefully we're able to get a break in the weather and start as early as possible tomorrow.
Hey, Ms. Thompson, everything's fine. It's going to be no problem. I'll have you done in a few minutes.
My name is Paisley Nordhoff, part owner of Complete Car Care, and I want you to come see me.
Well, Mike, now we have to just wait and see how things play out. As far as Georgia Southern, their focus is still on making it to the championship, winning a championship, because I do believe that's the only way they're going to get into the postseason. There's still another couple teams who might be able to get at-large berths, but for the Eagles, they're going to have to win the whole thing. It's a single elimination tournament. Do you feel like it helps or hurts Georgia Southern's chances?
Well, technically, I guess you could say it would help. It's fewer games that they would have to win. They're right in the middle of the pack in terms of seeding, so they're going to be the visiting team in their first game. You figure it might stay that way if it's a single elimination tournament. But the biggest hurdle in Georgia Southern's way is Louisiana Lafayette. their first round opponent. Not only a solid team, not only the defending tournament champions for the Sun Belt, but also they have the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year in Gunnar Leger, odds-on choice to pitch that first game. He shut out the Eagles a couple of weeks ago in Louisiana. They're going to have to find a way to get to one of the best pitchers, not only in the conference, but in the country. Georgia Southern, in its past, they've had a lot of success in conference tournaments, but interestingly enough, it usually isn't because they're a dominant team that runs through the tournament. They've never won a tournament as a top seed. I don't think, at least not in the last decade or so, they've won a tournament where they didn't come out of the losers bracket. We remember a few years ago their last tournament championship, the last one in the Southern Conference, they lost their first game and then had to win 5 in a row.
Right now, that'll do it for this week's Eagles Nest. Next week, we'll be able to tell you how things went and who won and who's going where. But for now, that'll wrap things up. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.